These are today's questions. So I think the first question we have answered very recently. How many of you remember that we actually did the first question?
Yes, sir.
Everyone remembers that some time back we have done the first question. Some time back in the sense hardly weeks back. 1 week, 1.5 week back. How many of you don't remember that we have done it? If you go back to your classes and see the same question, same wording was actually repeated. Okay, so it falls under the multiple topics. So again, it has come here, not an issue. So the answer for it is very simple. Someone give the framework. Since we have spent almost considerable time on the same question, so I'm just trying to do it faster so that we can move to the next question. Framework for this question, just to revise.
Yes, sir. Intro and then 2 to 3 acts. Then we conclude it.
So those 2 acts can be any
2 to 3 acts can be Forest Act and Atrocity Act.
FRA, Prevention of Atrocities Act. Okay, Protection of
And Forest Rights Act.
Civil Rights 1955. Okay, you can write about PISA. You can write about PISA. You can write about FRA. Basically, it is about the legal initiatives, means legislative initiatives which have been taken. And then you can mention certain constitutional provisions and then conclude. Right? That was our discussion previously.
Yes, sir.
And we thought that while concluding, you can mention some facts of Kaka report, how the tribals are still quite vulnerable. Okay, and you can mention all those and then conclude. So vulnerable sections generally are the most impacted sections of the society, and generally the social indicators like the literacy, health, education. Okay, education is again literacy only. So literacy, health, other aspects, the quality of life, etc., are not as per the society standards, and hence they are called vulnerable sections. Okay, vulnerable sections. So 1 minute. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes,
So
sir.
that is your first answer. Okay, we have done it already very extensively, and hence I am not spending much time on the first answer. So now come to the second question. Why are the tribals in India referred to as scheduled tribes? Indicate the major provisions enshrined in the Constitution of India for their upliftment. Okay, again, a fairly simple question, I would say. Fairly simple question. So, but give the framework, first understand the question and give the framework. Yes, framework, please.
Yes, sir. We can write intro and then some articles which we remember regarding the scheduled tribes, and we can conclude saying that other than constitutional provisions, we also have some legislations which we made in order to empower and protect them.
Yeah. So you like what we did for first question, you are saying you want to do it reverse in the second question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good approach. But what will be your intro?
Why scheduled tribes, like where the word scheduled tribes came from, or in
exactly. That is one of the core demands of the question. We are all using the word ST, ST, SC. All this we are using scheduled tribe, scheduled caste. But what is the scheduled tribe? The question is basically, actually the first part of the question in that particular year, I still remember, many of the aspirants felt suddenly difficult because we are used to this word so much, so that at the same time we do not know why tribes are called scheduled tribes. So what is the distinguish between tribe and a scheduled tribe? So these are very basics you need to know. Okay, so what is the first part of the answer? So who are the scheduled tribes? Yes, Sriram, who are the scheduled tribes?
Sir, who are incorporated in the constitution,
So
like the
constitution.
constitutional order 1950.
So any tribe which is defined in constitution is a scheduled tribe.
Sir,
Yes,
as
sir.
included in the
Is your network bad or my network bad?
ours, sir, ours.
Okay, tell me, Jitendra.
Sir,
What
as
is-
they were included in the schedule of the backward tribes who are eligible for government benefits.
So this is the problem. You're all
Yes,
telling the very random statements, but I am looking for exact statement. Who are scheduled tribes? The moment you write that statement, your answer is done. Anyone else? No, Raghu. Fifth and sixth schedule, they were included. Okay. I'm looking for a very specific article. Article 366 will speak about another article. That article is important. Okay, Bhaskar, you got Article 366 right, but Article 366 speaks about an article which gives scheduled tribes. Yes. Now you people got 342. Simple. For this, the answer should be very specific and quality oriented, because scheduled tribes, what you can write is Article 366 defines scheduled tribes as the ones who are included in the list of scheduled tribes as per Article 342. So there may be n number of tribes in India, but only those tribes which are categorized under Article 342 are called scheduled tribes. Okay, that definition you have to write. The moment you write the definition, it is done. The answer is done. You need not write about tribal way of life. What is how tribal culture is unique. I've seen that kind of answers also. Not required. And then if you want, you can make a statistic about the scheduled tribe population. What is the scheduled tribe population in India? Scheduled tribe population.
According to 2011 census, 10.43 crores.
Okay, 8.6%. The reservations for scheduled tribes is 7.5%, but the population is close to 8.6% as per the previous census. So you can say that scheduled tribes are categorized under Article 342. As per the census of 2011, the population of scheduled tribes is close to 8.6% of the Indian population. That's all. That is the introduction. And then major provisions enshrined in Constitution. Now this is bread and butter. You can write. Any serious aspirant who has read Lakshmikant will write this. Right from Article 15, 16, 17, untouchability. It is also related to tribes sometimes. You can write untouchability 17. Okay. And then Article 23 against bonded labor, because some of the tribes are made bonded labor in central India and other parts. Okay. You can write about Article 46 of DPSPs. Right. Yes, Swati. You have copy pasted it. Yeah, good. Are deemed under Article 342 to be scheduled tribes. Yes. Okay, good. So then you can speak about Article 46 of DPSPs, where the constitution gives that, the educational and economic empowerment of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes has to be taken care. Then you can mention about the reservation for STs in local panchayats under Article 243D. And then you can mention about the 5th schedule and 6th schedule. 5th schedule is for scheduled areas. Okay, 6th schedule is for the areas which are not included in 5th schedule, especially in the 4 states. What are those 4 states? What are the 4 states of 6th schedule?
Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura. Sorry, Assam.
I thought I know it wrong. Okay.
No, sir, Assam.
Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and
Mizoram.
Mizoram. Okay. So these are the states which are under 6th schedule. Okay. Then you can talk about Article 338A, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Okay. 338A. 338 is for SCs, 338A for STs, 338B for OBCs. Okay, please have that clarity. Okay, then you can say that even in state assemblies and Lok Sabha, there is certain reservation for STs, so which ensures political empowerment. As Sriram said, apart from this, you can say just 2 lines. Apart from the above constitutional safeguards, there are certain legal safeguards which have been initiated by Parliament, like Prevention of Atrocities on SCs and STs 1989. And then you can mention about the FRA, Forest Rights Act, or the PESA Act. All these are the legislative actions taken for the empowerment of STs. And then conclude that while there are many constitutional safeguards and also legal safeguards in force to empower and protect the STs and for their upliftment, however, the Kaka report of 2015 says that the social indicators for STs are still very less when compared to the nation's average. The need of the hour is to empower. The need of the hour is to empower the STs through their own culture, and that is the need of the hour. That's all. Okay. Is it clear? Second answer.
Yes, sir.
So for second answer, whose copy did I take? Yeah, Soumya. Okay, Soumya, now you know the introduction, right? Okay, provisions you got right, you wrote right. Okay, good. You can write about the 5th and 6th schedule also. Okay, cultural safeguards, Article 23. How Article 23 is related to cultural safeguards? Prashanti? Article 23 is against the human beings and the trafficking, right? Cultural safeguards, I think you are referring to Article 29-30. Okay, you can mention cultural safeguards. Okay, but that is not explicitly for SCs and STs, right? So there are many articles which are directly empowering them. Okay. Cultural safeguards, even language also is a cultural safeguard. The conclusion can be slightly better, Soumya. Okay. As I told you, you have to mention certain reports and all so that the conclusion will be much more impactful. The conclusion should not be very generic, especially the introduction and conclusion. They have to have certain impact. Like when you're writing stats and all, it will just pull the examiner into your answer. And then when he is going away from going out of the answer also, he should have certain impact to award good marks to you. Okay. So that is the practice. Third question. Do government schemes for uplifting vulnerable and backward communities by protecting required social resources for them lead to exclusion in establishing businesses in urban economics? Firstly, understand the question. Yeah, someone just understand the question and let me know. What did you understand? Yes, anyone? Is it such a difficult question? You people have answered that question. Hello.
So with introduction, we can start the reasons why these government and welfare schemes led to their exclusion in establishing businesses in urban economics, and then we conclude through way forward how the same things will be implemented in a better way, which will include them into the economy.
Okay. I'm taking up your answer only. This is your answer sheet only, right?
Yes, sir.
So basically, what is the question? You tell me. What did you understand from the question?
So the examiner asking, do really the schemes and welfare programs will lead to their exclusion in establishing businesses in urban economy? So we need to substantiate with reasons, and we can conclude by accepting or not accepting.
I want one line question here. You are again repeating the question. If I'm asking you what does the question ask, you should not repeat the question. You tell me the gist of the question. Anyone who can tell me the gist of the question? You might have written the answer correctly, most of you, but you must not have understood the question. Or maybe you understood the question differently, but somehow you were able to write the answer correctly. Sriram, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Just give me one line about this question.
Are government schemes leading to their exclusion rather than their inclusion?
In what sense?
In their involvement, like rather, what we call
So basically what they're saying is, just see, all such kind of difficult questions, you need to read multiple number of times to get the exact demand of the question. Of course, you have to address the one by one, as you people are doing underlining and all, you have to address various aspects of the question, no doubt about it. If you ask me one line of the question, yes, Vasavi, you just see what Vasavi has written. That is the one line of the question. You can write other aspects of the question, but the core demand of the question, I always keep repeating this core demand. The core demand of the question is, are government schemes discouraging entrepreneurship? No, not that, Bhaskar. What Vasavi has written is the core demand of the question. Agree, Jitendra, Sriram and others? You are able to see what Vasavi has written in chat window?
Yes, sir.
Is that the core demand of the question, Jitendra? You agree or do you want to debate? You are free to
Slightly
disagree.
agreed, sir, not complete.
You are free to disagree. And if you're disagreeing, let us know why you're disagreeing.
I agree, but we need to address the other aspects also. We cannot
That
debate
I am
only
also
in lines
saying.
of.
I am also saying that you have to address other aspects. I am asking you what is the corest demand of the question. Is that one line core demand or not?
Yes, sir.
Sriram agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, basically, now I always keep telling you the approach, right? The core demand of the question shall be addressed and the other aspects should be dressed up. I am not at all denying that. But the answer should always reflect the core demand of the question. Now that you understand, and simply they are saying, are the social schemes making people lazy or killing the entrepreneurship in them? Instead of asking directly, they are asking indirectly that are government schemes for uplifting the vulnerable and backward communities by protecting their social resources, making them or excluding them from setting up businesses in urban economics. That means you have to now tell about the social schemes and their impact on the vulnerable and backward communities. Are they really making them away from entrepreneurship or sometimes promoting them for entrepreneurship? You have to give some examples of the schemes which are pulling back people, some examples of schemes which are pushing the people to take up entrepreneurship, and then conclude in a very positive and optimistic way. Here in this question, you can use the example of SHGs. SHGs like NRLM. You can take the NRLM is a government scheme. National Rural Livelihood Mission is a government scheme. It is for uplifting vulnerable and backward communities. And as a result of NRLM, you have SHGs. And we have examples of SHGs becoming entrepreneurships. And the answer is about urban economics. So how far these vulnerable sections have come to the urban city and become an entrepreneur? So very rare case studies. So what are the difficulties? Because the schemes generally are rural background oriented. If you take the scheme like MG Narega, it is about rural setup only. People in rural areas are guaranteed certain employment. Urban area people are not having scheme like MG Narega. So people are not willing to come to urban cities. Even during COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen people who have gone back have settled in MG Narega schemes. And then you have to give other measures as to what are discouraging people from establishing businesses. So what is required to establish a business? You should have money, that is money, manpower, and then the business acumen or the skill set. Okay. Then you write what are the lacunae which are there, or lacunae which are impacting the setting up of business in urban economics, and then give out certain government schemes which are actually promoting entrepreneurship, like Startup India, Stand Up India. Stand Up India is for establishing businesses by vulnerable classes and women. Stand Up India. Startup India is a common platform. Stand Up India is exclusively for vulnerable classes and women for setting up businesses. You have to mention them. And then you have to conclude in a positive way that we need more entrepreneurs who can, because entrepreneurs can generate a lot of employment and put proper use to our demographic dividend. So that is how you conclude. Okay. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Agreed, Sriram, with the model answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Basically, these kind of questions are opinion-based questions. Okay. So here the question also is the negative sense. So they are just trying to test your stand. So don't blindly agree with the examiner always. If you want to reject the statement, do it in a very polite and dignified way and bring out, boss, yes, that may be one of this thing, but we also know something about the other aspects of what the government schemes and all are. Okay. So now going to Jitendra's answer. So introduction can be slightly better, Jitendra. Okay, you can straight away write. No, okay, I'll still say it's okay.
Yes, sir. I'll try to minimize it, sir.
Yeah, you have to cut short. You are conveying the meaning, but you have to convey very crisply. You have to arrive at the core demand of the question as soon as possible. That is always
sir.
our motto and target. Okay. Okay, you are trying to mention. But then why government schemes? You are directly writing government schemes. You have to write what are the question is about, are government schemes responsible for exclusion? Okay, you need not mention the government schemes here.
Yeah, sir. I'll change it.
You can straight away come to reasons for exclusion.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, slightly you have gone off track in this question. Okay, you have not addressed the core demand of the question. You have mentioned the points like, lack of skill development, prejudice. Okay, these are reasons for exclusion. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Reservations in promotion. Controversial point. Don't write second one.
Okay, sir.
Education incentives like reservation. First 2 points. Third point, I'll take it. Fourth point is good. You can make another points like lack of sensitivity, stratification. Okay. Populistic skill, hunger, and opportunity spirit. No. Very generic points. Okay. If you want to say, like, you can say sometimes Manrega is also discouraging. Okay, you can speak about MG Narega also, it is sometimes discouraging. It is not giving the kind of boost to entrepreneur spirit. Okay.
Third point I mentioned it. It didn't promoting skill development.
Okay. So, okay, what we can conclude is we have to support the social schemes as you are doing. We can support the social schemes because they are having significant impact on the lives of vulnerable people. At the same time, what we can say is we can integrate the social schemes with much more progressive schemes like Stand Up India and make the youth to take up the entrepreneurship or business in urban economics. Right? Clear? Yeah, fourth question. Electronic cash transfer system for welfare schemes is an ambitious project to minimize corruption, eliminate wastage, and facilitate reforms. Again, quite a standard and straightforward question. Okay. Electronic cash transfer system. Before 2014, it was called direct cash transfer, but then it was changed to DBT, direct benefit transfer. Okay. The electronic cash transfer system for welfare schemes is an ambitious project to minimize corruption, eliminate wastage, and facilitate reforms. Comment. So at that time, it was a very innovative question. Today, it is an outdated question. Yes or no? Today, it's already implemented across plethora of government schemes, and a lot of people are already benefited by this DBT. So it is no more an ambitious project. It is a practically implemented project. And it has definitely led to minimization of corruption, wastage, and also led to a lot of reforms. So maybe because the question is outdated, you can still answer it in a certain way to make it relevant to the today's scenario. So what do you write for this question? Whose answer sheet is this? Aravind. Aravind, you are there in the class? Aravind is not there? Okay. Yeah. So a very straightforward question, and you can write a fairly simple answer about the benefits of electronic transfer, or now it is called DBT, direct benefit transfer. So you can simply introduce with the same thing, like how this direct benefit transfer was a radical reform in the governance, okay, which could completely change the way government delivered the measures of welfare schemes, the benefits of welfare schemes to the poor and vulnerable by reducing the wastage, corruption, and also ensuring that reforms are taken place. Then straight away you can come to the benefits of DBT. What are the benefits of DBT? What are benefits of DBT? Anyone? What are the benefits of DBT? Is it, I am audible?
Yes, sir. We can write more inclusion and accurate targeting, and also preventing duplication.
DBT
And also we
basically
can
avoids
track the progress of
red-tapeism.
the funds.
Yes, preventing leakage, red tapeism, avoiding duplication, and directly reaching the beneficiary, improving the accuracy, better accountability, transparency, okay, and then no corruption. Okay, all these are benefits of DBT. Yeah. What are the, then you can mention the drawbacks. Drawbacks with DBT. What are the drawbacks or the issues with the DBT? Basically, the infrastructural issues. Yeah, Bhaskar, if you have any statistics, you can write that. Since 2014, there was 23 lakh crores which were transferred, and through this we have saved 2.3 lakh crores. Okay. If I were the examiner, I would be shocked. Okay, you are keeping track of this. Really good. So the issues are infrastructural issues, digital illiteracy, security of the bank passwords, ATM pins, okay, security of the data security, okay, and then many times you have to use your biometrics to take the benefits of DBT. So your biometric security is important, okay, and sometimes infrastructure means everything like technology, everything is a very big headache. So all these are issues with the DBT. Okay, then you can mention in way forward. Yeah, cyber threats, definitely cyber threats. In way forward, you can speak about certain government initiatives which have been taken, like the Ujjwala scheme, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, that is yesterday also we discussed Jam Trinity, okay, and then the Digital India Mission, and the last mile connectivity, e-voucher, the UPI payment system. All these have been radical reforms in the digital payments or the electronic cash transfer. Okay, even as Bhaskar was saying, even in today's paper, there is an article about PM speaking about the digital initiatives in India. So this digital word is going to be coming very frequently henceforth, because India as a nation seems to be moving towards digital India. And even the Prime Minister says that previously we used to stand in lines and all. Now today, everything is online. So very much true. We have come a long way in becoming a digital nation, and but the job is only very half done, or in fact less than half done. We have to ensure that the digital connectivity is there, digital literacy improves, and we move towards much advanced technologies like 5G, because our internet speeds are still poor when compared to the world average. Okay, we could see that in Jitender's voice also. The internet speeds are quite low. So, yes, Jitender.
Yes, sir.
So that was on a lighter note. So anyhow, we have to ensure that we move to faster speeds and faster technologies like 5G and etc. So all these are important aspects. Yeah, digital technology means you can include all 4.0. 5G means you can include virtual reality, Internet of Things, blockchain, everything it's called Industry 4.0. Okay, so these are all radical technologies, right? The central government frequently complains on the poor performance of the state. So electronic transfer system, yeah, it is Arvind. Arvind, you need not give all these stats about 2013, because I told you, right, this is an outdated question, because the question was relevant in 2013 but not now. What you can do is you can write the latest answer regarding DBT.
Okay, sir.
Okay, the other part of the answer is quite relevant, but what all we discussed, for these kind of questions, the multi-dimensional approach is required. You have to write the positive aspects as well as the drawbacks or issues with regard to DBT, and then give way forward in a very optimistic way, because we all want to move towards digital economy, digital India.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Arvind, now is it clear how to approach this question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see the last question. Central government frequently complains on the poor performance of the state government in eradicating suffering of vulnerable sections of the society. Okay, that's a statement. So central government is complaining about state government on eradicating poor performance of state governments in eradicating suffering of vulnerable sections. Restructuring of CSS, that means centrally sponsored schemes across the sectors for ameliorating the cause of vulnerable sections of population, aims at providing flexibility to the state in better implementation, critically evaluate. Okay. What do you understand by this big question? Again, give me one line for this question. Anyone? What is the gist of the question?
We can simply say limitations of centrally sponsored schemes.
Okay.
And what to be done for better regarding CSS.
Okay, Sriram, I understand that you understood the question. Anyone else? Raghu, much more simple question, simple part. They are saying that, okay, you tell me, anyone else? Okay, Sriram told me, Raghuram has given something in the window. Others, there are remaining 13 participants. You did not understand the question? So question is bigger, 5 lines question, so it becomes tough. Simply, if you ask me, the question is, too many centrally sponsored schemes are headache to manage. Will restructuring enable better implementation? Is this the question or something else? I feel the core demand of the question is, too many CSS schemes, CSS are headache to manage. In a very lay term, I'm saying, in a layman's language I'm speaking, too many CSS are headache to manage. Hence, we need to restructure them so that states can manage them. Is this the question or anything else?
Yes, sir. Even that was done by the government already, no, sir.
Yeah.
This was also outdated question.
Yeah, this is also outdated question. Okay. So for this, you have to write an introduction about CSS, okay, how they are basically designed by the union government, and there is a partnership of union and state government in implementing them. Union government will give certain funds to this centrally sponsored schemes, while the in charge for implementation and execution of the schemes is state government. So it was observed that too many centrally sponsored schemes were not actually delivering the intended results to the vulnerable sections. So anyhow, answer you can write, I'll just explain the context. So there was a committee by name BK Chaturvedi committee. So that committee was especially tasked with this work of recommending how to bring down these centrally sponsored schemes. It said, why should center take micro level management of states? States are independent constitutional units which are very important at national level. For example, MG Narega, it promotes employment for every single rural labor. So like that schemes you manage, why you want to manage very basic things in all the states? Because as we discussed yesterday also, what is the requirement in Tamil Nadu may not be a requirement in Haryana, but the centrally sponsored scheme will try to implement everything across same way in throughout India. Not required. The states are heterogeneous, and so the scheme should be heterogeneous. Mission Kakatiya is relevant in Telangana because Telangana cultivation or irrigation is based on tank system. But the same Mission Kakatiya is not relevant in Bihar or Gangetic Plain because it is basically plain area, more of canals. So what is relevant in one state, it may not be relevant in another state. So this committee told, better leave this micromanagement to the states. You don't go with one size fits all approach. Okay, instead of that, let states decide. In fact, it went on to say that even states should decide based on the bottom top approach, because within state also, if you take the case of Telangana, what is the requirement of Khammam? may not be the requirement of Adilabad. Or what is the requirement of Karimnagar may not be requirement of Nizamabad. So that's why we cannot have a one size fits all approach for these welfare schemes. Let it be customized at state level, and the number of centrally sponsored schemes should come down. And this recommendation was implemented. And today there are hardly some 15 to 20 odd schemes at central level which are monitored and taken care by the central government. Of course, they are implemented at state level by the state governments, and the reports are sent timely to the central government. So hardly there are 20 to 24 schemes. Remaining all schemes are designed at state level. Okay. So that is the context of this question. So in 2013, it was a very relevant question because too many central schemes were there and it was very difficult to monitor them and all. But now today, again, the situation has changed 9 years down the line. So today the central government schemes are a bit regulated. Okay, for this type of questions, what you can write is you can write the basic introduction. You can write about the committee which is being formed, that is B.K. Chaturvedi committee, to look into the central government schemes. And then you can write the limitations with regard to the central government CSS, that is centrally sponsored schemes. How I just discussed, right? In Pan India, it is difficult to have a same scheme implementable across India. Okay, because what works in one state may not work in another state. And then the government also central government doesn't have so much of funds. Okay, it cannot go on giving many states funds for this CSS. So at some time it has to be a facilitator. Okay, and then you can write about how this restructuring can be done. As I discussed, it can be from grassroots level democracy. Okay, and then among the schemes are also there are many overlaps. So those overlaps, schemes which are overlapping with each other can be cut down or removed for permanently. Okay, and then we can encourage states to come up with their own schemes with regard to the requirement of those states. Okay, and then you can further go on to add that involvement of NGOs to understand the requirement at the rural level and also help in the formulation of necessary schemes. Okay, and then you can conclude saying that it is important to have a holistic measure as to how the schemes have to be implemented. So whose answer script is this? Okay. For this, you can write side heading, Raghu. Drawbacks of CSS. Okay, drawbacks of too many CSS you can write. Okay. The points you are making are basically the drawbacks of CSS. Okay. And then, yeah, you can bring up the federalism angle also. That is a very good angle to comment for empowering states, because we are a federal setup. Why the center has to plan for state? So state has to plan for itself. Okay. Yeah, you have brought up, yeah, finance commission recommendations you can bring in. Now 15th finance commission is already submitted its report, Raghu. Okay. 14th is no more relevant. 15th is now already there by NK Singh. Okay. Okay, you can mention about the BK Chaturvedi committee. And yeah, this is a good conclusion. Despite cutting down the CSS, there is need for certain national level schemes which have to be monitored at central level, like housing, MG Narega, midday meal. Yes. Okay. Conclusion is good. You can say that going forward, the cooperative federalism with inclusive model has to be adopted to ensure better state and central relationship. Clear? Is it okay, Sriram? Jitendra,
Yes, sir.
others?
Yes, sir.
Others? Fine?
Yes,
Clear?
sir.
So that is for today. Okay. So we have still two to 3 minutes left. Anything else you want to discuss? Nothing to discuss. As I keep saying, right, if there are no doubts, there are only two scenarios. Understood everything or understood nothing. Then only you will
Consider
know.
first one.
Huh?
First one.
Jitendra, you are always
We'll
for.
consider the first one, sir.
Huh?
We'll consider the first statement.
So first statement is a compliment to me. If it is second statement, I'll push it on to you. Okay, no issues, but good. So only thing is, I want to see few more people writing regularly. Kaka report is readily available, Bhaskar. It's a Google. You should say J Google and it will come. You did not find it? You are an anthropology optional student. You'll just go and Google Kaka report, you will get it. 600 plus pages document. It's a public document. Even if you
Maybe
go,
he typed KA, sir. It is XA, right?
okay, it is. So Jitendra is pulling your leg. Okay, it's not the. In Telangana we have Kaka. Okay, Kaka means, what is Kaka? Jitendra?
Uncle.
Yes.
I think it's
Kaka
uncle.
means uncle. Uncle or like someone who's elderly, we call them Kaka in Telangana. So not that Kaka, it is XA report. If it is not available in Google, there are so many platforms like Insights, etc., where entire PDF is available. You search, if you don't get it, you ping me, I'll again send it to you. I have no issues. Okay, Bhaskar. Okay, Bhaskar gave me a direct message. I read it. Anyhow, fine. So Kaka report is a very exhaustive report, and for people without anthropology background, I'll not suggest them because it's a very big report, and for it's having a lot of stats. So remembering it is very difficult, especially for people who do not have anthropology as optional. Fine. So on that note, we'll take leave for today. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow. Few more set of questions. So only thing, the feedback I have is people who are writing regularly are writing quite regularly. Okay. The same 10 to 15 people are writing regularly. So, and the group has more than 50 plus people. Some people who have temporary issues have messaged me in personal window that, sir, due to XYZ reasons, we are unable to write. It's okay. It's acceptable. But people who are watching these videos regularly, active in the group, active in the Telegram channel, or part of the Telegram channel, please make use of this initiative. And I'm sure for people who are doing this regularly, you are already experiencing certain kind of confidence in writing the answers. Believe me, it will only grow. Okay. Irrespective of toughness of the question, you will take the bull head on. Okay. So already it's been more than 2 to 3 weeks we have started, and I can see the quality of answers improving with regard to everyone. Okay. For people who are not able to write answers, they are able to write answers. For people who are already writing answers, they are writing better answers. for people who are already writing better answers are now writing very good answers. Okay, but then don't get complacent, don't get carried away, because UPSC is a very uncertain exam. You have all experienced it very recently in the prelims. So don't get carried away. Okay, my answers are now validated by my faculty, so I am now, my mains preparation is done. No, I keep saying that there is no model or the best answer for any answer, because all we are doing is current affairs. So what is today may not be tomorrow. You can see that 2013 question is no more relevant today, but it is indirectly relevant today if slightly they change the content. They may simply ask what else can be done for DBT to make it more robust. That becomes a very, very valid question in today's context. So you have to think one step ahead, keep updating your knowledge, and bring out stats. Like, Bhaskar could, when he read the newspaper today, he brought some stats from Modi's conversation. So that is a very good approach. Okay, whenever you see such stats spoken by the heads of government, like obviously Prime Minister's speech is a very, very, valid speech. Okay, whatever he must be speaking, whatever stats he must be quoting will be definitely substantiated by government reports. So try to bring in those stats, those numbers, and then include in your answers, enrich them. Now people who are able to understand the framework of the question. The next aspect is not to write just framework, some content and come out. Next stage is how to enrich my answer, how to bring out certain stats which will make examiner awestruck. Oh my God, yeah, he has written this stat, like that. Okay, on that note, we'll close the session. Okay.